Unless you have been on another planet recently, you'd have noticed that yesterday Facebook's platforms, WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram were all down on Monday, the 4th of October in the afternoon. And it brings me to the question of how do we manage without social media? I say unless you're on another planet because half the world's population, 3.5 billion of us, are on one of Facebook's platforms. That is half the planet. So, and you know, it's unbelievable. I was about to upload something actually, then it just kept winding and buffering and buffering and buffering. And I realised something's wrong. I looked on a search and found out that their platform had gone down. So it was a big shock. It's the first time it's happened, and it was down for something like 6 hours. Apparently, Facebook's own system locked them out of the system, like some sort of AI science fiction movie. They couldn't get into the system. They were locked out by their own system. In fact, some of the doors in their own offices wouldn't open. How bad is that? But they got it sorted. Apparently, they had to fly somebody out to a server somewhere and just reboot it. So it just comes down to switching it on and off. I had IT support when I had my business for years, and half the time you'd ring them and say, yeah, just try switching the computer on and off. I said, yeah, I could have done that myself. I don't want to do that. But that's apparently what they had to do. But it did make me think about how much people are dependent on social media. Now on the news, it was actually on the national news that night, there were people like these two young women who said, oh, we couldn't find each other. They were meeting up in London. We couldn't find each other. We had to revert to text messaging. It's like they were talking about text messaging like it was so last century, and it was incredible what's gone on. But joking aside, many people around the world are using Facebook and Messenger and Messenger phone and WhatsApp to keep in touch with each other. People who live in another country will make calls every day using WhatsApp or Messenger. They're doing banking on these things as well now, because it's almost become like part of the infrastructure in the developing world, where you might not have telephone lines running into every town or city, every house. They've now got a mobile phone with a mast somewhere pumping out the signal. And you might not have banking in all communities. Now they can do a lot of it on their phones and using apps like WhatsApp and Facebook. So it's become a major part of the infrastructure, become so much a part of our life. So when it went down, it was a big deal for people. Also, people are using Facebook advertising. They're using Facebook to promote their business. And then you realise how much you can be dependent on just one platform. And incidentally, YouTube were down as well yesterday for a few hours as well. So there was a problem there. And I do wonder if it was a cyber attack of some sort, because how would it sort of happen to three platforms and then YouTube as well? Twitter's audience went up through the roof because everyone was going on Twitter at the time. But it is a bit scary if you're relying on these platforms for your business, for your bookings, for whatever, So it's not just about people missed keeping in touch with each other in London. This is a big thing around the world. And don't forget, it was only a few years ago that migrants who lived in the UK, if they had to use British Telecom, that was the dominant monopolised provider of phones in the UK. There were no mobile phones, and they would have to phone home to their country, whether it be, I don't know, India, the Philippines, Australia, or whatever. And these calls would cost a fortune. I think there was something like £2 a minute, £2 a minute, and this is going back 30 years. So a call might cost 25, 30, 40, 50 pounds. So people might not call for 6 months. They might only call at Christmas. It was that expensive. And then it opened up. The government at that time, I think it was under Thatcher, she opened it up to competition, and then things started to change. And of course now with then Skype and mobile telephony and internet calls and that sort of thing, now you can phone around the world for free. You can do conferences on Zoom for free. So things have totally changed. But many people might not remember how expensive it was to phone abroad until competition was brought in. So that then brings me on to, how much time are you spending on social media? You can look on your phone to see how much screen time you've got if you've got a smartphone. But, for some it might be an hour, a couple of hours a day. For some, they're waking up with their phone because it's setting the alarm off in the morning, and then they're into their messages and notifications and that sort of thing. I do spend a lot of time on social media because it's part of my business, if you like. But I'm sure a lot of people would be horrified if they looked at the actual screen time and found out that they might be spending 6, 7, even 10 hours a day on social media, whether it be Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, whatever, TikTok. And these things can be very addictive because you're watching one thing and it moves on to the next one. And our attention span has become so short that people are now looking at just short 20, 30-second clips. So they can't be bothered to look at a long video. I hope you can be bothered to listen to me, by the way. But maybe mine are too long for some young people. They haven't got the attention span. So I do also put stuff out on Instagram and TikTok. But it just brings me on to how much time we are spending. And I also noticed that young kids are very good at creating videos and little films on TikTok and Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, of course. But they're very creative. It's really good. And unlike me, they've grown up with IT. They've grown up using graphics. They've grown up using these things. But it doesn't mean that we can't get in on the act as well. So instead of spending time on social media just looking at other people doing business, making money, having fun, could you start making money yourself on social media? Well, the answer is, of course you can. It's there. People are doing it, and so can you. We can all learn not only how to use social media effectively, but how to make money on it. So the title of this is to stop wasting time on social media and start learning instead how to make money on social media. So using the time that you're on social media to make money, whether that's on your PC or Apple, Mac, or your smartphone or tablet. So you can learn how to make money on social media. This is from a guy that has been one of my mentors, Paul O'Mahony, who founded the Rethink Academy. Now, he's got a free web class coming up, and it's how to use the time you're already spending on social media to start making money, how to get a product you don't even own, to get it out there on the market very, very quickly, and how you can do this for nothing. And the exact strategy he used to make his first million on social media and on the internet. And you'll discover all of this in a free web class. And believe me, it's not as difficult as you think. You don't need your own website. You don't need to have your own products. It's not about importing stuff from China to sell on Amazon. There are lots of ways of making money, even if you don't have your own product or website. And you certainly don't need to go out and open up a shop and spend tens of thousands of pounds starting a physical business when you can start a part-time home-based business using social media and using the net to get yourself going. So watch this. Even if you own a business already, watch this, because you can learn how to promote your business on social media. If you want to own a business without quitting your job, look at this training as well. This training is for you, definitely, if you're serious about building a profitable business online in your spare time. And who knows, that business could then take over the income that you get from your job, and then you could think about, do I still want to go to work 9 to 5? If you enjoy your work, that's great. But a lot of people don't like their work. They hate their work. They hate Sunday nights when they realise they have to get up on a Monday morning. So why not start a little part-time business that could eventually replace your income and mean that when you've done that, only when you've done that, you could go into your boss and literally fire your boss in the nicest possible way and say to your boss, I've had enough of this. I'm out of here. I'm now leading a different lifestyle. I'm making money on social media. You could call it the laptop lifestyle if you want, where you could do the things you want to do. You could travel. You could work from anywhere in the world. You could work from the countryside. You could work abroad. You could work anywhere you want to do. And you could do the things you want to do when you want to do them. But you need the income first, and that's where it comes in, because you're not going to be tied to a job. You can start making money on social media instead of wasting time on social media. So click there on the free training. It's not just a sales pitch. It is a proper 1.5 hour free web class, absolutely free, run by a guy who really knows his stuff. He walks the talk, and there's nothing he doesn't know about making money online. So pick up some really good tips from him, and then you could start making money on social media and change your life too. Thanks for listening.